From secret military bases in Antarctica to inconceivably ancient formations, here are 10 unsolved Google Maps mysteries.
Amazing!
If you refuse to believe these are real, then view them for yourself via the links in the description. Great explorers of the internet have done their part to find these Google Maps mysteries, so make sure to help decipher them in the comments. I can smell the conspiracies already. Number 10. Iraq's Blood Red Lake. There is, as yet, no official explanation for why this otherwise normally green lake appears in red. Some people seem to believe it may simply be the result from a fault with the satellite camera, although it's equally likely to be sewage pollution, water treatment processes, or the dumping of waste blood from nearby slaughterhouses. The best explanation may be that minerals or red algae were the root of the problem. All I can say for definite is that this is reason 13,762 for why I'm not going to Iraq. Number 9. Steppe geoglyphs. A geoglyph is basically a crop circle, except in dirt or otherwise durable elements such as rocks. The steppe geoglyphs are a collective of at least 260 earthworks in Kazakhstan, most of which are small and made from stones or dug out earth. They were first spotted on Google Earth in 2007 by Dmitry Day, a Kazakh archaeology enthusiast, who noted that even with the images, they were difficult to spot on closer inspection from the ground. Some of the most famous ones, such as these shape formations, have been given names. For example, the Ushturgay Square, which measures approximately half a kilometre across, and the Turgay Triradial Swastika, which is found directly south, about 50 miles away, and led radicals to speculate about Nazi involvement. Optical dating results by NASA indicate that they date between 8 and 1,000 years old, which astonishingly makes them over 3 millenniums older than the Egyptian pyramids. Day believes the purpose of at least some of them may be related to tracking the rising sun, though even with NASA's help, the mystery of their history and purpose remains. Number 8. Murray Man. As mysterious as extremely old geoglyphs may sound, it's arguably stranger when inconceivably large ones show up practically overnight. And that's pretty much what happened in this case. The Murray Man was mysteriously spotted by a pilot named Trevor Wright on June 26, 1998, in a very remote location in the middle of the Australian desert, and is thought to be a hunter holding a boomerang. How very Australian. It measures 4.2 kilometers long from head to toe, and approximately 28 kilometers of lines were dug out. The lines are 35 meters wide and about a foot deep. Imagine how difficult that would have been to carve when you'd have to remove all kinds of vegetation and then dispose of the dirt, because it wasn't just thrown aside. Some people think it was done with machinery and tractors using GPS technology, but this was 1998, and that type of tech wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. Not only that, no footprints or tyre tracks were discernible at the site. The puzzle remains unsolved. Number 7. Cerne Abbas Giant. Also more appropriately known as the Rude Man, it stands at 55 meters long and 51 meters wide. It is carved into the hillside of Cerne Abbas, just north of Dorchester, England. Its origin, date, and purpose is unknown. Most scholars tend to agree it's either a symbol of fertility or the representation of the Roman hero Heracles, which even by package comparison seems unlikely. Local folklore claims the figure is the actual outline of a real giant that came from Denmark and was soundly defeated by the local villagers as he slept on the hill. If true, then obviously this giant was wielding 2 huge clubs. Although we may never figure out the entire mystery, it's an important part of the local culture and rechalked every 25 years to preserve its features. Number 6. Badlands Guardian. The locals never knew they were being watched by this geological phenomenon. It looks disconcertingly like a human head wearing a Native American headdress. The face formation located in Alberta, Canada, is supposedly entirely natural, the result of clay erosion, apparently. Needless to say, many people refuse to believe that a geological marvel that appears so human-like is simply a coincidence. If you look close enough, it looks like he's wearing a pair of earphones, but that section is actually a man-made road and oil well. Even the Badlands Guardian, it seems, isn't immune to exploratory drilling. What's puzzling is that this isn't the only face that appears to protrude from the ground. In Hungary, you can find what looks like the face of Jesus. That is, only if you believe that Jesus actually looks like this. Number 5. Crop circles. Aliens have been trying to communicate with us puny humans for years now, usually via the confusing medium of drawing circles in our fields. As you can tell, I'm a bit skeptical when it comes to the whole aliens creating art out of our food thing, but even I cannot deny that some of these are pretty astonishing. Given that there are hundreds to choose from, here are just a few of the most mysterious ones. There's quite a few scattered around England, and I don't know what it is about these triangles, but they're pretty popular.
Illuminati confirmed.
Some scientists and meteorologists have suggested that factors including magnetism and weather, such as freak tornadoes, may have caused them. Other explanations, of course, blame extraterrestrial beings. If true, evidently they haven't fully developed a grasp of our primitive languages, as seen in this childishly rude example. What, oh mighty alien life forms, are you trying to tell us? Number 4. Pisco Band of Holes. In southwestern Peru resides a trail of holes of various sizes and depths that are carved into barren rock and migrate around a mile northbound in perfect formation. With occasional clear gaps, this so-called band of holes baffles locals just as much as archaeologists. No one really realised the bigger picture until the area was viewed from the air, and best guesses point to them being some kind of ancient grain storage site. This seems unlikely though, because there were much easier ways to store grains than to chip all of these out. Alternative theories suggest they're burial sites composed of single vertical tombs. Again, good try, but no bones, artifacts, teeth, or even strands of hair have ever been found in them. Neither theories held up to much scrutiny. I guess you could say there are holes in their arguments. All joking aside, just east of the Acne Rocks is what looks like remnants of an ancient city, so these markings were probably created by humans. Number 3. Nazca Lines. The most well-known geoglyphs in the world are undoubtedly the Nazca Lines of coastal Peru. The hundreds of individual figures range in complexity from simple lines to stylized hummingbirds, monkeys, fish, sharks, orcas, and lizards. They're made from removing reddish pebbles to create shallow lines, meaning they're only visible from a few hundred meters above the desert plateau, despite in some cases being over 200 meters across. It has been suggested that they were used for navigation, though their true origin and purpose still puzzles investigators. More theories point to extraterrestrial runaways or water sourcing religious ceremonies. However, scholars insist that they were most likely created by the Nazca culture between 500 BC and 500 AC, and have been naturally preserved due to isolation from wind and humidity. Number 2. Atacama Giant. Not far from the Nazca Lines, there's another group of geoglyphs that are equally as impressive. Although the geoglyphs of the Atacama Desert in Chile are less familiar to most, they're far more numerous in number, more varied in style, and cover a much larger area. One of the most intriguing and controversial Atacama geoglyphs is called the Atacama Giant, which continues to stir debate regarding its true meaning and interpretation. At 119 meters tall, it's the largest human-like figure in the world, and believed to be built around 1000 to 1400 AD. It certainly looks like some kind of alien, but better explanations exist. Its unusual features are believed to perform the function of a calendar. At different alignments with the moon, it could have informed local inhabitants of various calendar events, such as the day and season and when to plant certain crops. Why it had to resemble ET remains a mystery though. Number 1. China's Desert Mysteries. The movies would have us believe that all the government's mysteriously secretive projects are hidden in the remotest deserts. Rightfully so. Just take a look at these zigzagging lines hidden in the Chinese desert. There's hardly any information on them, and they're huge, at 1.9 by 1 kilometers in dimension. They have amazingly been able to retain their linear proportions despite the curvature of the rough terrain. Perhaps this is a military test site. After all, these formations are relatively close to huge airstrips. And other crazy constructions. This circular formation that encompasses what looks like fighter jets raises just as many eyebrows. Perhaps it's used to calibrate orbital radars, or designed to test ways of hiding military operations from other countries' satellites. It might even just be some sort of cover-up by Google. There are many more explanations for these gigantic structures, but the most mysterious thing is invisible. According to a former CIA analyst, there's someone who has been ordering tons of satellite photos of this area since 2004. These sort of projects are mind-boggling. Just like the 1/20th scale model of a disputed border region between China and India that China had also constructed, and further afield. But in keeping with the whole military bases constructed in the middle of nowhere theme, check out this opening spotted in Antarctica. Conspiracy theorists are convinced this is an entrance to an underground UFO, alien or Nazi base, covered with a metal dome or canopy. Less passionate observers are inclined to think it's a natural cave. Most of these mysteries are thousands of years old, and it's hard enough to explain why they were built, let alone how they were built. Can you offer any explanations to solve these mysteries? Thanks for watching, and subscribe to Be Amazed.